Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I'm going to show you the exact kind of blueprint that I have used to charge each one of my clients $3,000 a month. Now, when I first started, I was only doing $1,500 a month for each client, and I was just doing local SEO. So I was optimizing their Google business profile. I was going and doing website audits and making sure that they had their website set up for local search intent, and then I was building specific city and service pages for their websites to try to help them out. And then eventually I started running Google and Facebook ad campaigns. And then I segued that into learning about some automations that I could add on to their business using a CRM called Go High Level. And what I did was I implemented a automation system for their website forms. Whenever they filled them out, it automatically sends them an email and a text message and gives them a thank you confirmation. And then I also did it for the same thing for instant forms on Facebook, where as soon as they submitted that form, I try to make it as simple as possible to get more lead volume and keep the cost per lead down. But then I have an AI conversational bot that will try to book an estimate appointment with them. Then after that, my next automation that I implemented was automated Google review request, or I'm sorry, yeah, Google review requests that was sent to their email and text, and was a game changer for local. That is a game changer for local businesses because most of them don't even try to get reviews, and I've even hounded some of my clients, asking, like begging them, hey, listen, do whatever you have to do to get them to give a review. I mean, even if you got to stand there right after the sale gets concluded, make sure you get a review. And each time they say they do, and they don't. So this way is much easier, and it's gotten a lot of results for a lot of my clients. And it's not really any more work from them other than just connecting Zapier integration to their. Uh, so in one instance, you can connect it like say QuickBooks. If they do an invoice paid, it'll automatically send out that review request. Others, I got two clients where they import a contact list, so a Google sheet, and I just import it into the CRM, and it sends up those automation emails and texts, and it follows up with them over 3 days. So I'm just going to show you the blueprint today, and if you follow along in the next coming weeks, I will be showing you each one of these step by step. We'll be digging into them and show you exactly how they do it. So first, we'll just start out exactly how this blueprint goes. So the first thing that I would implement into each business is our foundational setup. So we're going to do a business Google My Business profile optimization, and then we're going to do a website SEO audit and fix anything like their meta titles, their descriptions, their keywords. So we're going to optimize the Google business profile for uh, high intent keywords. We're going to set their service area, business hours, categories up for them to make sure that they are actually ranking for what they want to rank for. And I can't tell you how many times that I've seen clients that, they may service tree removal, but then they don't even have tree removal as one of their services. They have, junk cleanup or something. So next thing is you're going to add keyword rich descriptions, photos, and then we're going to do updates on the Google posts. And I've automated all this using Go High Level. So you don't even have to do updates. Photos, uh, I get the client to send me updated photos whenever they complete a job, and we just set them right up into their profile. Or uh, most of the time, once we start getting these reviews coming, a lot of these customers will actually send you. They'll send pictures themselves. All right. So the next thing we would do is the website SEO with audit and fixes. So we would identify technical issues, SEO gaps. So I'm looking for keywords. I'm making sure that they're ranking for the right words that they're trying to. Um, for instance, for a flooring company, you know, flooring installation, carpet installation, flooring repair, stuff like that. A cabinet company, cabinet installation, tree removal service. Okay, we want those keywords to be showing up on their website. The next thing is I'm going to optimize their meta titles, headers, and like I said, local keywords. Now their meta titles is what would show up in the header of their H1 tag of their website. So Google will look at that, and that's how they identify what that website is about. So if you don't have your meta titles set up correctly, then you're not even showing up in Google's eyes as exactly what you want to do. So the goal with that first step is to make sure that your business can actually be found whenever locals are searching for it. So that is the whole foundational setup of step one. That's the first thing that I do uh, whenever I work with a new client and we get them onboarded. Is I optimize their Google profile, because that local wise, that is the first thing that's going to help them be be seen more often. Google Map Packs is searched. I think 70% of they get 70% of the searches in local rankings whenever they're searching for, you know, tree removal, junk removal, flooring services, real estate, um, you know, anything like that. Local searches, Google Map Pack is the first thing they get searched. All right, so the next thing that I set up is their review engine. So immediately after I start doing this in the background, the very first thing that I want to do is I want to get their imported contacts list, or I want to set them up to where they are automatically getting, um, anytime somebody pays an invoice or anytime a customer checks out, I want them to get that review request right off the rip, because they're top of mind and it's all about speed. So as soon as I can get it. So I will ask them if they don't have anything like that set up, or they don't want to give me anything like that to integrate automatically, then I just ask them to send me an imported contacts list with their name, email, and phone number. And then from there, we automate the email and text message requests, and they'll start getting reviews immediately. I saw the first customer I ever did this with, they sent me a list of like 400 customers because they've never done anything like this, and we got over 50 reviews in less than 2 weeks. So I've got an email and SMS flow triggered. So I've got it triggered manually, but I can also trigger it for after a job completion. So however the customer tells me that they want to do this, that's kind of the method that I choose. And in the next coming videos, I'll show you exactly how my workflow that I use this for. And in my school community, I'm also going to be putting a snapshot of my Go High Level account where it's got all these implemented in there. So you just got to change the custom values to exactly what your clients are using. All right, so I direct them to their Facebook or Google review pages, and that's where they fill out the review. And I've also got a system implemented where as soon as they click on that review link, then it'll go through on my dashboard and show me that they clicked that review link. So some clients, they will, I mean, I have never done this yet, but I mean, it is there, it's available. I always offer it if they want to do it, but if you're doing good work, then you shouldn't have to worry about this too much. But review gating, so instead of sending them directly to a Google or Facebook page for review, you could send them to just like a one-page lander that shows a happy face, a yellow face, and then a mad face. And if they click a happy face, it'll send them to a Google review. And if you send any of the other two, it'll send them to like a checklist of questions, and we'll drill down exactly what would their issue is, and we can send that to the owner or have it sent directly to the owner, and they can follow up with them and ask them what's going on and see if they can help them out and get them a potentially 5-star review instead. So the whole goal is to turn every customer right there into a 5-star review. And what that does for you, the more reviews you got, the more Google trusts you, the more customers trust you. I know this is a fact. I've talked to many people who the first thing they look at when they're looking at restaurants, they're looking at what service company they're trying to use. any kind of service, they always look at reviews. And if you don't have any reviews, you're not trustworthy. But it also helps out with Google uh, with your SEO authority. So the more reviews that you have, Google's going to say, okay, this is a trusted name in the space. We like this guy. We're gonna rank him at the top of the leaderboard on the backpacks. All right. So that's the besides onboarding, while I'm doing this in the background, I'm going to go ahead and set this up because this is my number one boom return ROI. I get it immediately right off the rip when a customer's on board with me, uh, or when a client on board with me. They will start seeing immediate results flow in within a few hours sometimes. All right. So the third thing I do is lead generation. So uh, on top of local SEO, so we're going to be building up their service pages, their city pages. We're going to be hitting their reviews up to make sure that they are getting more reviews and consistent reviews. I'm going to make sure their website audit and everything is hitting with their meta titles, so that way they're getting searched for the right intent. So while that's building, it takes time for this setup to build. Google, you're not just going to go from rank 50 to rank 1 in one day. Google doesn't work like that. You build trust with Google over time. That's why local SEO is so powerful. But while we're waiting on that, we can still generate leads with paid ad leads, and that's what I do as well. So first one I use is Google Ads. So we run high converting local campaigns, and we use two different methods. So we use PPC and local service ads. And then I try to every week I'll optimize and I'll make sure that they're hitting our targets for cost per click, and make sure that the quality of these leads is good. Because if we're getting 100 leads but none of them convert, I mean, then we're not, the lead quality is shit, and we need to figure out a better way to do it. Same thing for Facebook ads. So I use instant form ads and I target local. So I usually target within whatever their range is. So if they're, say you're in New York City, we're going to target just New York City, and unless you service an area that's farther outside of that. But all depends on, what client it is that I'm working with and what exactly their search intent is. But we run lead form ads mostly, and then I run them to a conversational bot or AI bot that tries to book an estimate appointment. Or uh, if it's a client that you can book online, then I will run them straight to a website form so they can book online. And I also give options on that where they would do an instant form, and then as soon as they submit that instant form, they have an option to book directly onto a calendar, and that calendar is synced with a business owner so they can see it directly on their calendars for review. All right, and so the whole goal, obviously with that is we bring into leads today while SEO grows over time. All right, so the next thing I do, so whenever somebody submits a website form or an instant form, that's where my AI automations start coming into play. So with the website form, it sends an auto thank you, like a thank you email and a text whenever it's submitted, and says, "Hey, we're reviewing your request. We're gonna make, we're checking everything out. Somebody will be reaching out to you very soon to confirm." Now, if a customer, say for a flooring store, submits a lead form on any kind of website, most of the time, if they submit it and get no kind of response back for it, they're going to feel like they didn't do anything. They didn't feel like they scratched their itch. They didn't feel like they actually talked to anybody to get what they wanted done. So they're either going to do one of two things. They're either going to call another business, or they're gonna go to somebody else's website and they're gonna submit another one. So once you send them these thank you emails and texts, that feels on their side like, hey, they saw me submit this. They are reviewing it right now. Somebody's gonna call me really soon. And so what that does is it buys you time. And that's what you're trying to do as an owner, is you're trying to buy yourself time, because in this game, it's speed to lead. If you don't respond to a lead within 5 minutes, they're going to go somewhere else because they feel like they didn't get their needs fulfilled. So you notify the client in real time. So what that means is that as soon as that email and text goes out, I also have a system where it'll send something right to the owner. If they want to have a text sent right to the owner saying, "Hey, this lead is submitted," um, you can go check it out right here, and they can go right onto the CRM and see exactly that lead. They can call them up if they wanted to. I can set it up to where they can sends a text message with all their info, so they don't even have to go into the CRM. It's kind of whatever way the owner wants to do it. Um, but it kind of, that's when we do that onboarding process, and I kind of get through like all the questionnaires and ask them exactly how they want to do this. Because every client's got different needs, so maybe they just want to get an email, maybe they want it to send to somebody else, but it all depends, but I have that option in there if they want it. And then, like I said, it adds it to a CRM and gives a follow-up sequence. So it's not just going to give them a thank you email and text when that's submitted. It follows up with them for 3 days after that, and it tries to get them to commit to an estimate appointment. If I'm working with a flooring company or with a real estate company, if they submit a form onto that website, it tries to keep hitting them back to try to get them to respond. With the Facebook AI appointment scheduling, so I don't ask for their address whenever I do AI. Uh, so whenever, I'm sorry, not AI, but I don't ask for their address whenever I'm doing Facebook instant forms. That's just, it's too much. You will not get a good conversion on your cost per lead. So that's whenever they send in like a simple form, I only get them to ask one question on there. And once they submit that, then my conversation bot walks them through a process, and I've got it trained for a couple different clients where, say with a flooring company that I'm working with, it tries to book an estimate appointment because they don't do estimates over the phone. For a tree removal service, it's the same deal. That tries it. They try to get them to book an estimate appointment to see exactly what they're looking at, because you can't just give an estimate over the phone on some of these. There's a junk removal business that I work with where they usually get them to send pictures first, and then most of the time they got to go take a look to kind of give them the real estimate. But with that specific junk removal company that I work with, we get them to try to send in pictures, and we try to book that estimate appointment as well. But you try to qualify and book that estimate automatically. And then basically, as soon as they book it, it sends it to a calendar right on the CRM, and it sends it to the owner. All right. So the goal with that is to respond instantly. Like I said earlier, if you're not quick in the lead game, then you're not going to convert well. And the customers are just going to go to somebody else, because if you feel like you reached out to somebody asking for something and nobody responded to you, you feel like you didn't fulfill anything. You didn't get your needs met. So they're going to go somewhere else. But if you respond quick, which there's a lot of businesses out there, a lot of local businesses out there who are still, they're run by older people who don't know anything about technology. They just know exactly the way they've been doing it. It's been working for them, pen and paper. And sometimes, they don't even respond to a phone call for a couple hours. They might, maybe they're on the job and they can't get to the phone. Or maybe that's not how they've ever done it. They do most of their stuff through word of mouth and they don't really care. But in today's game, it's all about speed to lead, because with the internet, if if you're not if you're not getting in there quick, then they will go somewhere else. All right, so after I set the automations up for their website and their Facebook ads, then the next thing I do, and this is the long-term game with local SEO, and it's why you're able to uh, it's how you're able to expand your website and expand into other areas. Is we're gonna start building city and service pages, and to build authority on your web pages, you're going to build local backlinks and citations. So basically, citations is making sure that your name, address, and phone number are consistent across all platforms, all directories, and local backlinks would be something like, you are joining your local chamber of commerce, and they're going to list you on their domain registry. And if you're a part of that domain registry, you're getting a lot of authority with local search intent. But so I'm going to add city pages. So for instance, if I'm in Charlotte, if my main business is in Charlotte, and I also service the surrounding areas, so for instance, Concord, Kannapolis, or Huntersville, but I'm only showing up in Charlotte, well, and I'm not ranking over there in Concord or Kannapolis, well, I'm going to build out a Kannapolis and Concord page. And then I'm going to build out a service page that connects to that city as well. So blog content, I haven't found to be really as effective for local SEO. It can be certain times. It all depends, I guess, what business industry you're in. But most of the time, local searches, they're looking for, HVAC near me. I mean, I guess you can do some kind of blog content like that, like best HVAC service in Kannapolis or Charlotte. But I just, that doesn't move the needle as much. So I also, with local SEO, I do ongoing Google My Business posts, and I'm making sure that it's optimized, making sure that Google sees that we're active on there. So with local backlinks and citations, so like I said, I submit to Chamber of Commerce. I try to get on local directories. Anything like I will do keyword research, and I'll make sure that there's local relevant directories that are in that specific city, and try to get the clients that I work with to be on those. So building local backlinks, it builds authority for your website pages, but those do take a little bit of time. So you can either outsource those, which costs a lot of money, or you can try to do it yourself, where you're trying to get, maybe say local newspaper, you want to write an article for them. You might have to pay a little bit of money to write the article, and then have them include your backlink to your page. But those do serve as great trust authorities in Google's eyes. So then I'm also going to monitor competitors. So for instance, say if I've got a junk removal company that I'm working with in, say, Charlotte, I'm going to look and see what the competitors in the area are, and see who the top 3 are. What are they doing on their website? How many pages do they have? How many local backlinks do they have? What are their citations looking like? Are they running ads? I want to make sure that whatever they're doing, in order to get into the top 3, we're going to have to at least match what that third place guy is doing, and we're going to have to exceed it, because if we don't, then we're not going to ever get into the top 3. All right, so the goal with that is to rank higher with your website. So we're going to be trying to rank organically higher, so we don't have to spend so much money on leads. So then the last thing that I do is we send out monthly reports on the leads generated, how our ads are doing, SEO growth, conversion insights, and then strategy adjustments. So I look at what's working, double down on it, keep trying to double down on it until it doesn't work anymore, until it hits a plateau. And then if any of our funnels have leaks in it, of course, we're going to test, we're going to strategize, we'll test new campaigns, new offers, and see what works, what doesn't. In one area, it might work great with that demographic, but in another area, it might not. So that's where you're always testing, you're always figuring out what's the best way to do it. But the system itself is pretty much the same. All right, so the goal with the reporting and optimization, you want to show a clear ROI, keep that engine running at peak performance. And the clients that you work with, With this kind of roadmap, this blueprint that I built, uh, what are the clients getting out of it? So they're getting more calls, more leads, more appointments. They're getting a business that shows up at exactly where it matters. So Google Maps, Facebook, the three biggest factors, and you're getting automations that work for you while you sleep. So they don't even have to worry about reaching out to a lead. I have an automation that sets up everything for them. So all they have to do is just follow up as soon as they get something in. Uh, and I buy them time with the confirmation, thank you confirmation emails. I try to go ahead and get all the leads set up beforehand and try to just put it on their calendar for them. So that way they don't have to do anything except show up to the call. That's basically what my automations do while we build local SEO in the background. And I'm not just a guy that's going to sell them one automation and just be done with it. I'm always transparent, and I always show exactly what I'm working on and exactly how I'm helping them, or what we could do better at. But that's my full blueprint. And in the next coming weeks, I'm going to break down each one of these step by step to kind of show you exactly what I look for in each one of these and exactly how I set up my lead follow-up system, exactly how I set up my service pages, my city pages, and I look forward to having you guys. But if y'all have any questions or if you have anything that you would like me to do, uh, leave something in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer it in the next video.